Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan, and today I'm bringing you a video talking about moving to your first base after you graduate tech school. So, I mean, also the same stuff kind of applies for PCSing when you're moving base to base, because these same options are for that reason. But since a lot of you guys who watch these videos are either new to the Air Force or going through tech school or just finished BMT or about to leave for BMT or whatever the case may be, this is specifically going to apply to you because it's the big one. When you move to your first base, like, that's the big one. That's when it's like, okay, this is real now. You know what I mean? So basically, anyways, it's been like 3 weeks ish since I've uploaded a video. My uncle died on November 1st, and so that whole week and weekend, I just really didn't want to make a video. I was grieving, which is cool, and then this week, it's Thursday today, but this week, earlier in the week, I was in Colorado for the funeral and all sorts of stuff like that. So I didn't want to make any videos. I wasn't in the mood to make videos. Hopefully you will understand that, which I know you will. But now I'm back bringing you a video about moving to your first base. So there are tons and tons of options about moving to your first base and PCSing, essentially. Like, you can drive to your first base, you can fly to your first base, you can do rap. Like, there's so many different things. I could literally probably, if I knew all the information off the top of my head, make this video an hour or two long. Seriously, like, starting off, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Starting off, when you are about to graduate tech school, the month before, 2 months before, you get out processing checklist, just like you get an in processing checklist, right? So there's tons of stuff on there. Like, when we were at Keesler and we were leaving, we had security briefings about our security clearances. We had briefings about moving, how we were gonna move, how to set that all up. We had briefings about shipping stuff, whether we're shipping it home, whether we were shipping it to our first base, how that gets paid for, if we have to pay for it, like, tons and tons and tons of information about this stuff, right? Because it's not super simple and it gets really chaotic. And the one thing I want you to remember is that this video is going to be kind of rambly because I don't have all the information. It's not like I work for I think the Travel Management Office, TMO, or anything like that. So I don't have that information up hand. I can only base off my experiences. And it is kind of chaotic when you're going through it, but everything will work out, and all sorts of stuff like that. And also, one thing I forgot in that list about, oh, if you drive or fly and stuff, is movers, and how you have movers come to your house and how they pick up their stuff and know where to go and all sorts of stuff like that. So basically, again, what I was saying is, like, you have tech school, boom, you graduate, you go to a million out processing briefings, including moving and all sorts of stuff like that. And that's where you make your decisions for, okay, am I gonna drive there and weigh my vehicles with all my stuff in it, so then they can document how much it weighs empty, how much it weighs full, and pay me what they would pay a contractor to move, or do I want somebody else to move for me? Now, you can have other people move for you if you're single, but you don't have as high of like a charge range of how much weight you can bring, you know what I mean, with you, so that they'll move for you. But since I'm married and stuff, like, we had a very big charge, right? I don't know what the right terminology would be there, but we had a lot of stuff to move, and obviously there's limitations and stuff like that, and we didn't meet it because we live in an apartment, we don't have that much stuff, right? But you can also, this is like the most basic one, right? If you don't have a family you care about, you don't want to go see them after you graduate tech school, you aren't married, anything like that, if you just want to go to your first base, you can totally do that. The Air Force will pay for your plane ticket to go from your tech school to your first base. That is the only plane ticket that they will pay for. I know, like, when I was going through and tons of other people were going through, they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, they'll pay for me to go home and then from home to here and stuff. That's not how it works. Like, you either do all the other chaotic stuff, or you fly yourself from your base, your tech school base, to your main base. And that's where your sponsor will pick you up, or somebody who you're gonna work with, and then they'll take you to your dorm that they've already got for you and all sorts of stuff like that. And then if you are doing that, this is where kind of it blends together, because you can ship stuff. Like, when I was leaving and I had people move for me and we drove to my first base, I shipped all my stuff from tech school, which was like 2 big boxes, to Colorado. And then I had that loaded into my car when I drove, but eventually movers came and stuff like that too. So I'll go through my stuff. I don't want it to get too confusing, but it's kind of confusing. So when I did it, I went through all the briefings and stuff. we decided that we wanted to fly home, right, and then drive from Colorado to Illinois. So that's what I did. I bought myself a plane ticket as soon as I graduated Sec Plus. I took a taxi to New Orleans because that's where I took the airplane home to Denver. So from Denver, I took RAP for 2 weeks. You can take RAP if your recruiter likes you. You can take RAP anywhere in the United States. It can be any recruiter. It doesn't have to be your recruiter. But if you're on good terms with your recruiter and they like you and you ask them, like just send them an email or call them like, hey, it's so-and-so, I want to do RAP on these days. You can get your paperwork from the MTLs or whatever it is. There's a whole process. Like, honestly, I know that I try to help you guys as much as I can, but with specific stuff like this, it might have changed and I don't know. So the best thing to do is to go to tech school and actually ask the MTLs. But it's basically paperwork you do with you and your recruiter, and then you go on RAP for those many days. So it's like 12 days, 10 days, or 14 days or something like that. And then after that, we literally packed our stuff. The movers came some point in time from there and they literally packed everything for us. It wasn't the best job. They had big boxes and they threw everything in it and they broke some stuff, but it's cool, it's whatever, because there's a whole process for getting those things replaced and they'll give you money back if they do break stuff, but they moved it. They gave us a delivery date, okay, on August 14th or something, we're gonna deliver it. We had to be there by August 6th or something like that because that was my report no later than date. And that is where you get into taking leave after tech school, because I know some of you are thinking about that. So anyways, real quick, after we got here, we moved in and then I went to my job. My first day on the job video took place the first business like weekday that we got here, which was like a Monday, right? Besides that, taking leave, right? When you leave tech school, you're allotted like 2 or 3 days to travel. You have travel days, and it's free leave. It's just, okay, it's gonna take you from here to here. It's gonna take you 2 or 3 days to get there. People who go all the way across the United States usually get 3. I got 2 days from here to Illinois. If you take longer than that, it's gonna be marked on your leave. So when you get to your base and you go to finance and TMO and do all the in-processing stuff that you do, because you're gonna do a lot of in-processing when you get to your base too, they're gonna mark, okay, this is your report no later than date, this is when you got here, what were you doing for these days and these days, okay, this is how much leave you took, and they'll subtract that from LeaveWeb about how many days you get, because you get 2.5 days a month all year round. So that's how they do that. It's totally cool if you want to take leave. You just have to communicate it with your sponsors, because like, yeah, man, like I'm gonna take leave for these 2 weeks or something like that. I believe it does go negative as well, so I don't think it's like a big deal if you do go negative. I would try to stay out of the negative range with your leave days, so figure out how much leave you have so then you can take more once you get to your base. Because if you're negative, then you're never gonna have leave. It's gonna take a while for you to get that back. But anyways, you just have to communicate it with your supervisor, or if you have one at the time, or your sponsor, or whatever that sort of thing is. So sponsors are iffy. There's no like set of rules for a sponsor. They pretty much pick you up from the airport, show you around the base, take you to your dorm, give you the key, and then you're off. If you don't have a car, that's usually the person that will drive you to work every day, or the first day they'll tell you where everything is. Like usually for us, when a new airman comes, our sponsor will pick them up from the airport, drive them to base, have them meet everyone in our office first, and then drive them around the base, show them where everything is, which it's not like you're gonna remember all that, and then eventually they just drop you back off. That's pretty much how it works. Sometimes they'll give us like base maps, or pamphlets, or anything in that sort of range, but that's the gist of it. You can either drive, and then like, hold on, the whole weight thing. So when you're driving, like I said, they weigh your car empty or full. You have to do both. It doesn't really matter in what order you do it. You can measure your car first full, and then drive to your base, and then have it measured empty. So there are certain rules with that, like you have to have a full tank of gas when you measure it full, I believe. You will get in trouble if you put in a bunch of BS to make your car heavier, like engines or sandbags and stuff like that, just to squeeze more money out of the system. People do get caught for that, so watch out for that if you are gonna be stupid and do something like that. But that's pretty much it. You just pack your stuff and you drive. You can, like when I did it, the reason I didn't make money when we drove here is because my car wasn't big enough to fit all my stuff, and then my parents followed us to Illinois, and it's not like we're gonna weigh their car because that's not how that works. and we didn't weigh my car, and it was whatever. And you also have a certain time limit that you have to submit the weight forms to finance before you will get paid back. If you go over that day, they're not going to pay you. So if you want to get paid, you just have to keep up with everything, and there's a lot of paperwork involved with all of this, especially with having movers and stuff, because one moving company grabbed our stuff in Colorado and then drove it wherever they drove it in the country, and then gave it to another moving company, and the moving company dropped it off at our house, and they just kind of put boxes in our living room, and then there's tons of paperwork for that too. So the moral of the story is, with the Air Force and with things like this, there's paperwork for days. So don't stress about it too much. I just want to give you a quick rundown of what it's like to move in the military, and specifically what it's like to go to your first base, especially for you single people out there. It's a lot more simple if you make it simple, but it sounds a lot more complicated than it is, I promise. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop your ship dates down below, along with any questions that you may have about absolutely anything in my life, in my videos, whatever it may be. All of the links to my art is down below as well, because I'm an artist. I upload a lot on Instagram, so make sure you go check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.